Can you all hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay, perfect. Here's my little microphone. I'm trying to make things nicer for you guys. So I'm glad you're here. Guys, you really should take care of yourselves. Because, like, I just went to whip my head around and I think I pulled a muscle. I really need to get in better shape. We need a VP backup in case I go downhill fast, I'm telling you. So we're going to start off this webinar a little bit differently than we have in the past. Tom Judson, he's what is he, Vice President International. He does an opportunity call the first Monday of every month when we're doing our webinar. And he reached out to me today and asked me if I would just do a 5-minute blurb on, why Park Lane for the opportunity call. And the time is at the exact same time that we do this. So then I said, hey, why don't I just do it on the webinar? Because that way you guys can be listening to what I have to say. And people have asked me in the past, not just for mine, but many of our word choices, like so much is about word choices. So I thought it would be a training moment for us as well. So if you'll be good enough to put up with me, I'm sure you're letting Dad know that you're here, and have they been doing their tickets and all that good stuff, or whatever you do for them now? They have to fill out the form. I am now going to call in to Tom Judson. Let me know how everything's going. Share some good news on there. Type up some things that have been going really well for you. We'd love to hear about it. I am here, Tom, and so is my whole organization on the webinar. You said welcome, everybody. Well, they probably heard you. I will. I absolutely will. I love my job. It comes off me in waves. And whoever's on this call right now listening, I want this kind of feeling for you. So I sort of broke this down because I know I only have like 5 minutes. Like, why direct sales? Why Park Lane? Why jewelry? And why now? And I'm just going to speak from my heart, letting you know that getting involved in direct sales is the most important and influential financial and life work balance decision I ever made for my family. This job works if you do. Working for someone else is not being in control. Working for yourself is being in control. And you'd best be working to make your own dreams come true, because otherwise you're on a payroll to make someone else's dreams come true. And as silly as it sounds, one thing I just always love to point out is there is, those big yellow books that are like the Idiot's Guides, the Idiot's Guide to Computer, the Idiot's Guide to Cooking. There's actually an Idiot's Guide to Getting Rich. And the first chapter is open your own business. Fastest way to get rich in America is to open your own business. Even if you're not going to make money on your business, which you will in Park Lane, it is a proven fact that you'll make money on your business because you immediately are eligible for so many tax write-offs. So that's something really important to keep in mind, because you will immediately making a very good choice, since there's no investment or anything in Park Lane. So why Park Lane? I worked for another direct sales company for 12 years, And I worked myself up into the revered top 10 income earner bracket. At my best, at my greatest, I was making over $200,000 a year there. But when I looked into Park Lane and I plugged in what I had done there, and I took that same effort and results and plugged it into the Park Lane profit plan, I would have made over $700,000 with the same activity. So 200,000 there would have been 700,000 here. And after being here close to 7 years, I can attest that it's absolutely true. And I can back it up with numbers because I was very close to making $700,000 last year after only 6 years with this company. We have the most generous program in all of direct sales, the most generous customer sale, the most generous host program, the most generous profit program. We offer 2 trips a year. We have the ability to earn a Mercedes car payment. We can earn up to $1,000 in free jewelry every single month. There is always something keeping us and our team engaged and working. And yet, if something goes awry, we're not punished for that. We have no monthly quotas, and once we earn a certain title, we never lose that title. They lead with the carrot, not with the stick, which I find wonderful. Why jewelry? I always say, oh my gosh, who knew? Seriously, you guys, who knew? I used to be one of those people that would say, who would ever sell jewelry? And I'm like, oh my gosh, have I ever been taken down a peg? Jewelry is one of the biggest selling products in our whole USA, anywhere, world market. It's in with the top 3 gift items, candy, flowers, and jewelry. It has a huge market base from men, women, and children, every age level. It's consumable, which I'm like, I never thought of it that way, but it is absolutely consumable. It changes with the seasons. It changes with the outfits. It changes with the times. It changes with the moods. It changes with the events that people are going to. We do not have a slow time with jewelry. So our paychecks stay really consistent throughout the year. Jewelry is a feel-good item and an impulse purchase and one of the only products that actually goes up in sales during times of recession. Fashion will always be in fashion and people will always want to try on their jewelry. Jewelry shows pretty in a book, prettier in real life, but prettiest of all on the body. And true jewelry lovers would not buy their jewelry from the internet. So it's job security. And Park Lane is the only full service jewelry selling company. And what I mean by that is every other company has their niche market and, beautiful pieces, but jewelry lovers love jewelry and they'll niche their jewelry too, which is wonderful. But what we have is so across the board because there's like one company that is known for their boutique style jewelry. There's another company that's known for their silver. There's another company that's known for their trendy. There's another company that's known for its charms. Well, Park Lane has all of it. We have everything from very simple to very elaborate to different age groups, men, everything in between. And I don't even have to sell people on that because they tell me. My customers come up to me all the time and tell me that that's one thing that they absolutely love about Park Lane, full service jewelry company. And why now? One of the success principles is to lean in. My organization, the people in them, they could just, robot it back to you because I say it so often. Don't overthink things. Just like with having children, there is no perfect time. Good luck if you ever figure that out. Now, capital NOW, is the perfect time. And you are looking into this and you are on this call for a reason. When you join now, you have a really great chance of earning our incentive trip to St. Thomas in September, because you're going to have double points. All you need is for the person who's bringing you in to break it down for you. If they're not available, I'll break it down for you. It's so doable. You'll set yourself up if you start now for the summer selling season. You'll get your feet wet and then be ready to take off running strong when our new fall line comes out. I was a teacher before I did direct sales, and a lot of times teachers will say, well, I think I'll start in the summer. It's like, no, you want to start now because now is like a learning, training, dabble time, and then you'll hit the road running in the summer. So now is the perfect time. People often lament or stress out about when or where or how am I going to do this? When am I going to fit it in? Where should I start? And here's the thing, and this is what I mean about leaning in. We are offering you $1,000 plus in free jewelry, and most likely $1,000 plus in pay for basically working about 10 to 15 hours around your own schedule. Instead of thinking of it as this huge big thing that you might be taking on, think about it if someone said, you have 10 to 15 hours to work to make over $1,000 and to earn $1,000 in free jewelry. What would you say to that? People say yes to that. So I know this was short and sweet, but I have a tendency to get right to the point. Just do it, like Nike says, and I hope you'll take on Park Lane. Come and introduce yourself to me at convention, and welcome aboard. We've been waiting for you. You're very welcome. I'm honored to have been asked. Take good care. Bye. You can probably still hear him. Could you hear him? Tom is known for his booming voice. Okay. But what I want to reiterate a little bit there that I just said that I've had a lot of feedback on is, would you be willing to work 10 to 15 hours for $1,000? And seriously, you guys, I mean, I think any of us, even now, even me, I'm a go-getter. If someone said I could earn another $1,000 to do something else for 10 hours, I'd be like, that's like one work day and 2 more hours. Yeah, I could do something for an extra $1,000, you know? So I find when you word it like that, you're going to find like extra interest in this job. So we have a lot of exciting things to look forward to and going on. And I think I want to speak to you as leaders, because you are leaders, and all of you can look at the what's going on this month that I did on Friday. But there's something that I just want to really make sure that you're aware of and holding on to as we go into the summer season. I don't want to jinx us, but there's too many people that feel like it's the tougher time of the month, the year, or whatever. And it really only is if you allow it to be. And I know some of you roll your eyes or look at me like, oh my gosh, when I start to talk about this, but I have literally transformed my own life and helped a lot of people transform theirs by going over and over and over again how much I believe in the power of positive thinking, in the power of, if you will, for lack of a better word, the secret. If you haven't read the book, if you haven't watched the little DVD, I just can't recommend it highly enough. It's a game changer. I have seen the results when I live it, and I have seen the results when I don't. And I am a really true believer. And I know there are a couple people on this webinar that were big cynics about the whole thing that would be really happy to preach to you now about how it helps change their life. So, in essence, the secret, just to go over it again, is the power of positive thinking. And you guys know me now, most of you. I'm not a Pollyanna. You know, if something's not going right or we need to make a change, I'm all over that. I'm not going to always tell you everything is okay. So I get it when you first heard this, and it's hard for you to adapt. But I didn't just hear it in one place. I heard it over and over and over again, over all of the, I've always tried to be a lifelong learner, but truly in these last 20 years in direct sales and running my own business, it's been almost like a degree, and I'm going for myself, a degree in leadership. I study leadership. I think it's hugely important that people really want to be great leaders, and most people will step up to be strong leaders because it can hurt sometimes. You know, you have to make some hard choices, and people will blame you and all that good stuff. So anyway, to get back to that, every single thing that I've ever read about any great leader, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Dale Carnegie, John Maxwell, and regardless of Jesus Christ, regardless, Moses, Mohammed, regardless of what field they were in, every single one of them repeated that this was one of the hugest parts of their success, was the power of positive thinking, is the way some people said it. Other people said just believing in the universe. Other people say it's their faith. It's really whatever you choose to call it. I don't want to be offensive because some people may have different beliefs. But whatever your belief is, that's really what it is. It's the power of something bigger than yourself. And whatever you think about, you bring around. What I mean by that is if you're worried about money all the time, then you'll be worried about money all the time. And the universe or whoever will read your thinking about being scared about money is sending you more fears about money. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's absolutely the honest to goodness truth. So like when you open a bill, instead of being afraid of that amount, what you need to do real quick is do a visual, like switch it into your head to that a check just paid for that amount. Or do a visual. I share this one with a lot of people when I'm having trouble like getting myself in that mood. I'll just picture like $100 bills. I'm picturing them right now. Can you see them? Are they on camera? $100 bills falling all over my head, in my clothes, just abundance all around me. That is the success principle, and it's super important that you catch your negative thinking and take yourself back. And believe me, one of the reasons I do well in this type of business is because I'm so average. Whatever you've ever thought, I've thought, so I can relate to it. I know what it's like to be in a bad place. I know what it's like to be in a bad mood. I know what it's like to be like furious or frustrated. And I'm telling you, sometimes we want to be there and we don't want anybody talking us out of it. And we're just like, leave me alone. I'm in this mood. I have a reason to be in this mood. I deserve to be in this mood. That's true, but we are really messing ourselves up when we do that. Because I've seen the results when I'm in a mood like that for a day or two, and I've seen the results when I'm all positive. Give my own little example. I was sharing it with Bev Austin today because it was just so fun. My last couple shows, I didn't get any bookings at my shows. And so first, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be out of business. I'm going to have to sell my house. I'm going to have to, then I like got, get a hold of myself. And I'm like, instead of picturing abundance and picturing joy and picturing how there's a reason for this and greatness is going to come, you guys, I kid you not. So I did my show yesterday. I get in the car on a Sunday, like at 4 o'clock. When does this ever happen? There are 2 text messages for me. One's a text message. One's a Facebook message from 2 totally people I don't even, like one said, you used to do party light parties for me and I need jewelry desperately. Will you do a show for me in the next 2 weeks? Let me think about it. Okay. And the other one was, I saw the Northern Lights bracelet somewhere and I have to have one. How can I get one? I haven't seen that girl in, I'm not kidding you guys, 7 years. I don't even know how or where she got my information. And then the girl from the show yesterday for whom I had no bookings, she messaged me today. She said, my friend is getting married. She wants to have a show with you. So from 0 to really, I could say 3 bookings at that show because I threw myself back into that positive place. I have someone, she knows who she is. I'm so proud of her because she was scared. Her company closed. She was used to making a certain amount of money. She had to put in the time. And I kept telling her, I hear and I feel your fear. I know it's hard, but you have got to be coming from a place of abundance. You can't be worried about spending this little bit of money. Or you can't be worried about what will happen if. Or you can't be worried about how much gas money that costs you to get there. When you come from a place of lack, you're always going to come from a place of lack. You need to rethink just get a hold of yourself. I know how hard it is because these are feelings. Get a hold of yourself. Change your thoughts. Change your feelings. Do whatever you have to do to take it through. And she actually had this big breakthrough the other day. And she has been texting me daily with the wonderful things that are happening for her. And she said, I just needed to stop being afraid. And it's been 2 years in the coming. Now, part of the lesson there is she stuck it out with me. She stuck it out with me. I'm so proud of her. But I'm going to see now that the tipping point, it's not little. It's big when it tips. It's big. Let me just read you some of the quotes from The Secret. I think it's super super important that we all get ourselves in a good place here and share it with our teams. Be grateful for what you have now. As you begin to think about all the things in your life that you are grateful for, you will be amazed at the never-ending thoughts that come back to you of more things to be grateful for. You have to make a start, and then the law of attraction will receive those grateful thoughts and give you more, just like them. Every single one of us, I know every single one of you on the call has a roof over your head. You have a computer or a phone if you're on the call. Be grateful for that. Be grateful for all the things that are going right, and more will come to you because of your gratitude. There is no such thing as a hopeless situation. Every single circumstance of your life can change on a dime. There is a truth deep down inside of you that has been waiting for you to discover it. And that truth is this: you deserve all of the good things that life has to offer. You become what you think about most, but you also attract what you think about most. I want you guys to really pay attention to this because it's almost laugh out loud. When I am like really concentrating on how irritating something is, I get more of it. It's comical. A lot of people, and by the way, you guys, I'm not just quoting the book, I'm quoting all great leaders and philosophers and speakers over time. Give you like a little mix. This is a long one, but I like it. And it's from Jack Canfield, who I love. The Success Principles is by Jack Canfield. A lot of people feel like they're victims in life, and they'll often point to past events, perhaps growing up with an abusive parent or in a dysfunctional family. Most psychologists believe that about 85% of families are dysfunctional. So all of a sudden, you're not so unique. Jack Canfield is saying, my parents were alcoholics. My dad abused me. My mother divorced him when I was 6. I mean, that's almost everybody's story in some form or not. The real question is, what are you going to do about it now? What do you choose now? Because you can either keep focusing on that, or you can focus on what you want. And when people start focusing on what they want, what they don't want falls away. And what they want expands, and the other part disappears. One more. Your power is in your thoughts. Stay awake. In other words, remember to remember and pay attention to what you're thinking, because that's where your power is. I don't think that she'll mind me putting this out there. It's energy. We're energy. Our thoughts are actually energy. So there is science that proves, like, as you're listening to this and me talk, if they were to measure the energy in the room, it would be trackable. When they do, like, after a big game or motivational speakers leave and they measure, it's actually trackable, the energy in the room. And one thing that makes me feel really happy is I read many places, positive thoughts are way more powerful than negative thoughts. So for a second you have a negative thought and you're just like brush it away really quickly, replacing it with that powerful thought, powerful positive thought will undo it, because sometimes we get like, oh my gosh, I don't want to think about that, and then you think about it, like when you're never tell a kid to not put a bean in his nose, and then put a bean in his nose. So that's almost like you're trying to trick yourself into thinking a negative thought. That positive thought will overcome it. So one of our leaders in Texas, Jennifer Bond, she won't mind if I share. I know she won't. She said that she put out to the universe that she wanted 8 new leaders. And this windfall started to happen. It started with one director point who's bringing in, like, I don't want to exaggerate, I think it might be 9. And I was laughing, though, because she said her husband said, Jennifer, why didn't you put out that you want 20 new leaders, But now she will. That's where we come from. So it's just as easy to dream a big dream as a little dream. So I would give you some homework when you get off the phone, the webinar, whatever we're doing right now. I want you to list some of the things that you are envisioning accomplishing this month. And I want your thoughts to go there. And I don't want you to think about, that's where we get mixed up, especially those of us who strategists and reasonable. I have a lot of that in me. we're thinking, well, I can't write that down because I don't know how I'll make that happen. That's what you don't want to do. You just want to write it down that it's happening. And wait until you see the types of things that start to deliver for you. And that's where you just have to be ready to recognize the opportunities, recognize the signs, because you can't just say, I want to make $5,000 this month and then not do anything. You know, you have to recognize the signs. You have to recognize the opportunities when they come to you. So we won't talk about that anymore, but I felt like a lot of us needed to hear that. And along that line, do not wait until you feel like you deserve or can afford to go to convention. That is an act of faith. That is an act of positive energy put towards yourself and what you're capable of. Go in and register for convention and reserve your hotel room if you haven't done so. You're going to be rich and you are going to be a leader or a great leader, and great leaders go to their conventions. Duh. So make that happen. Unless, obviously, you don't have to email me and say, I'm so sorry, but my son's getting married that day. Duh. You know, family takes preference. It takes preferential treatment over that. But in almost any other case, you guys, get in there. It's a weekend. It's one day off. Worst case scenario, if you absolutely cannot take off, then come after work and at least have Friday night and Saturday with us. But register for convention. We have a pretty lofty goal. I want to say it's like 375. And so far, we only have 110 paid, 180 signed up. So we're only like halfway to our convention goal. We're totally capable of having like 1,000 there. So I know we will need it, but do it as an act of faith. Do it as an act of faith to get in there and register for convention. The other thing I'd like you to see you do is get yourself to the leader retreat. And again, no, you're a grown up. You can make those big decisions if it's about something that's going on with your family or whatever. But I do not use the one I can't afford it, or I don't deserve it, or I need to get further in my business, because it's a catch-22. It's like saying I can't go to college until after I get my job. You go to college first and then you get your job, right? And you pay for college and you have this huge investment in college or high school or whatever, or, you know, tech school, so that you can go out with confidence to become what you want to become. It's the same here. Go to training, get on the training, go to convention, you know, use these words with your team, because that's where it all happens, right? Starts with us too. So if you're not signed up for those things, it's not really fair to be upset with your team when they don't sign up for things. It's really not. All right, so talking about some good vibes. I've never had this. I look at Deb once in a while because I need a human touch. Isn't she wonderful to always do this? She's always there for me. She's probably one of the purest, kindest people I've ever met. Nothing against any of you, but that's it right there's in there. Okay. All right. So I've never had this many people with a whole month left to go already have earned trips. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people who have already earned 1 or 2 trips. Okay. So huge congratulations to Janie Sands, who has already earned 1 trip. Huge congratulations to Davina Messick, who's already earned 1 trip. Same to Kim Lake, who's already earned 1. Same to Bev Austin, who's already earned 1. Belinda Barrett, who's already earned 1. Debbie Pendergast, who just like last month has already earned 2 still. And myself, who's already earned 2. And I do feel very necessary to give some shout outs, because, like, okay, so let's look at a Tammy Christensen. Tammy Christensen has 63,000 points. So she's got 2 trips. She's got 3 qualified recruits. So just that 4th one qualified, and she's done. So there's a lot of people like that. Emily Reach, she has 46,000 trip points with 3 qualified recruits. Nicole Ryerson, 35,000 with 3. Carrie Rippey, 30,000 with 4. She's got the 4. Julie Stanley already has the 4, and she's at 20,000 trip points. Michelle Zito already has her 4 and is at 34,000 trip points. Shelly Andrus already has her 4 and is at 33,000 trip points. Jacinta Devlin already has her 4. She's at 24,000. Ellen Collard has 6 recruits, and it's at 29,000. Brenda Decker has her 4 and is at 30,000. So if I didn't say your name and you're so close, please give me a break. But I am super, super proud of all of these trip earners, and the other ones that are listed on this have all already gotten to level 1 for the trip contest. So let's make that last big push right now for the trip. And I do want to talk about that for a second because doubles, okay? I think the majority of you did the 1,000 the last 2 weeks and the 1 recruit so that you could be in doubles. And even if you didn't and you're not in doubles in May, I want to talk about doubles because the new people that you recruit get doubles their first 7 weeks. So right now, we're in a time when we could recruit somebody and take them on that trip. And I believe in this, and I've seen a lot of leaders make the transition to a new level of leadership when they start focusing not only on themselves earning the trip, but who are they going to take with them? So I really want you to be thinking that way, even if you're a branch. Are you going to bring your fashion director on the trip? Are the two of you going to say, we're going for it? We're going to track it? Do you know that I've had people, I love this, people are so smart, and they said, okay, we're going for the trip. And they're knowing kind of realistically and analytically that chances are they're not going to get the trip at this point. I'm not one to say that, but come on, we're realists. So what they do is they make up their own trip. They go, we're going for the trip, and if we get to this certain amount of points, you and I are going on a trip. And they'll go to like the lake for a weekend or something. But they make a goal for themselves or for their team so that there's something to be shooting for instead of saying, I'm not going on the trip, so I'm not going to even try for it. That's the kids of that, okay? If you go for this trip, you'll definitely get the next one because that's how you learn and practice what to do. But let's talk about, seriously, you guys, how easy this is. Doable, I should say. It's not easy, but it's doable if you put your nose to the grindstone. 34,000 points for 1 trip. So in the month of May, because it's doubles for your new people, they need $17,000 sold between them and their 4 recruits. Obviously, they need to recruit their 4 people. They make a 5th person. So that is $3,400 each sold in the month of May. And that person, the top, the original that recruited the 4, will get the trip. $3,400 each for 5 people. And the other really fun way to look at this is May is a 5-week month. So that's $3,400 a week for the team of 5 going in the month of May. What would you do if you knew that if you accomplished that, you could earn $1 million? Would you do it? Yeah, I bet you would. And why, for the love of anything, would you let yourself off the hook for anything less than that? Why would you not think it's worth it to try for that no matter what? I bet you anything. Someone said they would give you $1 million, you would be doing that. What's your price? Isn't a trip to St. Thomas good enough? Okay. 2 trips, 47,000 points. So in the month of May, it's double. So that means $23,500 needs to be sold between the 5 people, the 4 recruits, and that 5th person who's the original. That's $4,700 each in the month of May, or $4,700 per week in the month of May for that person to earn the trip. Think about the different creative things you could do to brainstorm and help that person earn that trip. And of course, I know I say it over and over again, but you don't have to stop at 4. So we have this brand new division senior division down in Texas that has like 8 or 9 new recruits, and every dollar they sell counts too. It shouldn't just be her on this trip. I bet you a couple of those are going to be coming along too, and they started their business last week. So look for somebody to either recruit or that's already in your lineage and decide that you're going to work with them to earn this trip. It'll help you practice too. It really will. Okay, so let's talk about some other things that I'm excited about. The last 2 weeks of the month of May are Founders Week. I said this on I sent this on our What's Going On this month. This is a particularly special emotional one for the Levine family. And I know sometimes we probably think like, oh my gosh, I never even met Shirley or whatever. But it was my parents that started the company, and I would want to honor them. And I knew that they were watching and that they took it seriously. And do I matter anymore? Do people still care? They do. They do. They really care. They really watch it. It means a lot to them when we come through for them. That being said, I've told you guys this before. I go, the nicest people in the whole entire world won't do something for you. There has to be something in it for them in some way. I mean, maybe once or twice they'll do it for you, but that gets really old. So what do you need to be in it for you? I mean, I go back through your network and look at the prizes and put pictures up and stuff. I love the prizes that they have for that Founders Week. I think they are incredible. Also keep in mind that we're in convention recognition right now. So any push for anything that we can do in May, there are people on this team who will tell you that they absolutely in no way expected to hear their name as one of the top groups at convention, but they were, because they didn't think they had done enough. They had done their very best. They weren't even going for convention recognition. They were going for this kind of thing, the doubles for the trip or the TPW or working with other people on trips or promotion. So don't make this a slack off time for you. You could really find yourself up there at convention, and that's a game changer. That's a game changer. When you become known by Park Lane because you're an achiever, everything starts to escalate for you in your business. So that's pretty cool. So I'd love to do like some idea sharing on the executive page. Share with your upline leader if you're not a division or above, and if you're a division or above, start a little conversation on what can we do to make May extra abundant. What can we do? What kind of little contests can we do? What kind of little shows can we do? What kind of ideas do we all have? That gets our creativity and our juices going. I wanted to give you a compliment because it meant the world to me. Bev Austin has a new direct hire division leader, came over from another company, and she came to our executive breakfast on Saturday that I have for the locals once a month. And she gave Bev some feedback about how she had never been part of such a team, how the energy there and the culture that we've built is indescribable, that she'd never seen so many like lateral leaders that had nothing to gain from each other want and push so much for each other. And as happy and complimented as I was, delighted, and I'm like, that's what I wanted. It's when someone like tells you that, like you have a nice family. I knew that compliment would not have been only for my local executive team. I knew that compliment stretches to all of you all across the country. It really does. And it's kind of unheard of for a bunch of women to be so supportive of each other and always sharing. And I just wanted to pass that on to you because I'm really proud of that, and I commend you for that. So I'd love to really see us building each other up and sharing and seeing like how are we going to get, what are we going to do for this month of May to make it rock for convention, to make it rock for Founders Week, to make it rock for the last, go-to for the trip. In a 5-week month that has so many opportunities for jewelry sales in there, how can we get creative with that? Because there also are a lot of weekends taken up in May, but there's ways around that. So it's like a catch-22. It's like they need the jewelry for Mother's Day. They need the jewelry for graduation. They need the jewelry to wear their Memorial Day picnics, okay? They need the jewelry for First Communions. They need the jewelry for proms. On the weekends, we have proms, and we have First Communions, and we have, so I get it. But let's get creative. That's what we're going for. And kind of get around all of that so that everybody wins. Okay, talked about, convention recognition. Read up on that again in the levels. They're staying pretty true to what they've been in the past, but they added a category. And you guys, this is another one that's really important to me that we come up with some good ideas. I'm going to be working on this one, and I'll come up with something for the entire organization, but help me make it better. The Consistency Award for the watch. I really want to go big on this one, you guys. There's 11 weeks in the convention recognition time frame, and we get 2 weeks off. But if we sell a minimum of $300, all of the other 9 weeks, we get recognized at convention and we get that watch. I want to see a huge amount of us up there for that, because that's a huge deal. That is big. And if we can get our teams being more consistent, it's a win for everybody. So let's think of a way to seriously go for that. I'm going to ask my programmer if he can come up with a way to make a program so I can recognize that during the convention recognition contest. And again, you get 2 weeks off. So kind of like, look at your weeks with your team, spell it out for yourselves, and figure out, like, how can we make sure we're being consistent. And I'm going to share this story. I shared it on Friday too, but it's kind of a story about me being a brat and learning from it. And it's when I was with Party Light, their recognition was for a year, and they had a consistency award for people who recruited 2 people a month, personal recruits per month. They all had to qualify, which was higher than it is here for candles. It was higher. 2 a month for 12 months. And it couldn't just be 24. It had to be 2 a month. So if you recruited 48, but you only had 1 in 1 month, you wouldn't be eligible. So it was hard. It was a tracker. It was big deal, especially in some of those months. Like, did you ever try to recruit someone to sell candles in June? It's tricky. Okay, so anyway, I did it. And when I got to convention for the time when they were going to do the drawing, it was a $10,000 drawing. I have to understand, you guys, I had set myself up like I knew I was going to get it. I mean, I looked, I researched. In any other year, they'd only had 2 or 3 people that ever had 24 in a year, much less 2 a month. I mean, I was going to be the only one, right? So they start to call people. I'm all excited. And they say, well, all the people please line up that, did this. And they start calling the names. And it was like 50 people. And right then, my heart just plummeted. It plummeted because I was so sure I could be $10,000 richer. And I saw my odds go down like I couldn't believe. Then I think, well, I bet you anything because they've done this before. I bet you they do something for all of us. They didn't. They called us all up on the stage. They did the $10,000 drawing. FYI, wasn't me. And that was it. Thank you very much. And off the stage we went. And at that time, I was like furious. I acted like a brat in the pool. I told people how hard that was, that we should have gotten so much more than that. Aren't you ashamed of me? I'm ashamed of me now. Well, in my career, I realized pretty quickly when I turned my frown around, that single goal changed everything in my business. That's when I went from being like a recruiter to a leader of leaders. And it was so good for me and so healthy for my business. And it took me to times when I was making, well, not like what I make here, but like last week my paycheck was $10,000. Whole different thing than when I was feeling then, hoping I'd get a chance to win $10,000. But now I live it like a weekly check. So I want you to keep that in mind, that this consistency one would be a super good goal to go for as a leader and to set up your people for. Are we doing on time? We're getting there. Okay. So we've added a lot of direct points this month, and we'll probably have to recognize many of them next month because I don't have a report. Oh, good. We got some added here. Oh, you did your little writing. Okay. First of all, let me recognize all of the promotions we've had since last convention, and then going forward, I'll recognize for each month, but I don't want anyone to feel left out, okay? So since last convention, this is incredible, you guys. It's more because people sent me in some from last week. We've had at least 32 branch promotions, at least 7 area promotions, and a minimum of 3 division promotions since last convention. That's like 40-something promotions, you guys. And these are the people. Gina Allen to branch, recruited by, influenced by Kim Osterreich. Christy Jordan to Branch by Tammy Christensen. Jackie Benholt to Branch by Jennifer Irwit. Stephanie Beckham to Branch by Simone Prince. Jill Bishop to Branch by Debbie Pendergast. Jennifer Bourne to Branch by Terry Braun. Tanya Bovey to Branch by Simone Prince. Terry Braun to Area by Jamie Sands. Jennifer Bergmeyer to Branch by Jennifer Patton. Brenda Cisneros to Branch by Gianna Prandini. Kim Delp to Branch by Bev Austin. Catherine Engleton to Area by Jacinta Devlin. Leda Evans to Area by Jamie Sands. Jennifer Ewert to Branch by Julie Tullis. Jennifer Ewert to Area by Julie Tullis. Ann Farnsworth to Branch by Ellen Pollard. Beth Faust to Division by Jennifer Horton. Amy Garabrandt to Branch by Michelle Kennedy. Kathy Hayes to Branch by Shannon Pelosa. Becky Heimgartner to Area by Bev Austin. Lisa Jackson to Branch by Elizabeth Hall. Samantha Kirkpatrick to Branch by Bev Austin. Judy Craner to Branch by Hillary Craner. Fluoride Mabon to Branch by Jennifer Horton. Sandra McCullough to Branch by Simone Prince. Patsy Mitchell to Branch by Carrie Rippey. Tracy Moore to Branch by Kim Lake. Michelle Mullen to Branch by Stacia Pancras. Deborah Pierce to Branch by Hillary Craner. Sherry Persino to Branch by Bev Austin. Gianna Prandini to Area by Julie Tullis. Mariella Ramos to Branch by Simone Prince. Sue Riddle to Branch by Jamie Sands. Jerry Rugo to Branch by Tracy Schultz. Tracy Smith to Branch by Elizabeth Hall. Lauren Thomas to Branch by Kim Lake. Ruby Wilson to Branch by Leda Evans. And here's some more that are just coming in today. They'll be all on the report next time. But Hillary Kramer promoted to Branch Amy Townsend and Melissa Sparkman. And Hillary Craner was promoted to Division by me. Then we have Cindy Briner was promoted to Branch. Tricia Roush to Branch. And Lisa Jackson, all by Davina Messick. And Elizabeth Hall to Division. We have a direct appoint Area. Beth Schrober, is that in Davina?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Caitlin Vincent to Branch from Davina's lineage. No, we don't know. That's okay. Carolyn Johnson added to our leader team of Branch. Kim Delp promoted to Area by Bev Austin. Nancy Slade is a direct appoint Division to Bev Austin. And I think I said Tracy Moore and Jean McBride to Branch. So it's the people that promoted last week that finished it out at the end of April that weren't on my report yet. So we'll definitely do shout outs for you, but I don't want you to think we forgot about you or don't care if your name wasn't said this month. Also, I need to go purse shopping, and I know that there are areas and divisions on this list that I owe purses to, and we are going to get you taken care of, and there is absolutely nobody to be upset with but me. This is totally my fault. I ran out of them, which is a good problem to have. Okay, so going forward, they're going to have recognition for the top 5 in the U.S. in every category for the most promote outs, the most promotions. So I want us focusing like laser beams on promotion in these upcoming convention recognition months. I wanted to give you just a little, I keep things simple, but in order to track, I literally will just print out an application, a promotion application. I'll fill in, well, actually this is a Terry Merns, but I have the wrong name in there. I would fill in the person's name, the level that they're going for, the months in which they're going for it. I would write, like, depending on what they need. So if they're a division, they need 4 active branches. So I write down the branches that they have, and then I monitor and keep track of as we promote branches or as the branches become active by, like, either popping in a show or doing a show for us or whatever it takes to get these branches active during that time. And then we monitor the sales. And then I'm always able, as are you, to check in with Eric just before the end of the month to make sure that he's seeing everything the way you are so that you're not going to have any surprises. So I do this for everybody that I'm working with to promote every single month. It really works. Hang them up around your office, do whatever to keep them in front of you. In the month of, for a special summer sale, if you will, somebody said they worded it as 25% off because we have 25% off our qualifications. In May and June, in order to promote to division, it's normally, wait a minute, what am I saying? In order to promote to senior division, it's normally $60,000 over 2 months. They're doing a summer sale where it's $45,000 over 2 months, May and June. $45,000. That's 25% less than what they normally go for. Now, if you want to do April, May, you're going to have to do it with the 60 because this is a summer sale. Okay, but it's pretty cool. May, June. Keep your people engaged and working, and of course, 8 active branches in order to go to senior division. Then sales VP, they're going for, it's normally 180 over 2 months. It's 120 over 2 months. That's just a sales thing. If you already have your branches, no problem. So I want you just to kind of break that down. And I entice you to get out the profit brochure, Money Mountain, and look at it. And I am happy to go through this with you. But like at the senior division level, if you're doing about $50,000 a month as a team, you are right now about to lose money. That's when you want to go big time for the next stretch. And I can do the math with you. A lot of people say things like, I'm not even hitting all my bonuses at senior. I'm not going to go for sales VP. Well, I can show you the math and how after 50 grand, you're losing money if you're not shooting for that next level. You can gain more money at the next level. It's pretty cool. I can show you. So, and the division is another month. You know, they made it, it's $10,000 in a month with 4 branches active for the month of May. And it's a 5-week month. And we had people going for it in April. We should have more people going for it in May because they have 5 weeks to make it happen. Okay, just a little housekeeping here. I am curious. I feel like I want to be more connected. I know we're going to have the leader retreat. I love that. I was throwing around the idea of like bi-weekly training calls, just 30 minutes, guest speakers, whatever. I constantly am juggling and trying to include or care. I do care about everybody, but we have people that work full-time and we have people that do Park Lane full-time. Sunday nights, most of our organizations have other things that they're doing, other calls on Sunday nights. A lunchtime during the week with, once a week, maybe being able to take your lunchtime for 30 minutes to get on a call. I think maybe that would be a good way to go. But I'm interested in your feedback because I'm willing to do 2. I'm willing to do a lunchtime during the week and a Sunday with 2 different groups if I need to, so that everybody feels valued. All that I ask is that you show up if it's important to you. Like if you said I can't do during the week, well then would you show up at a different time? So I'm looking for feedback there. So it would mean a lot to me if you would just kind of on the executive page or to Carrie or to me, send me your feedback about what would work for you. Never going to find anything that works for everybody, but I will do my very best, and we'll do it kind of like as a 2-month, like through the summer. We'll call it like summer school, just to test it out and see if the interest is still there after. But we're all at a disadvantage if we're not all knowing each other a little bit better. One of the great things is I know everybody. I get to go to every city and meet everybody, and I love when you get to meet each other. So excited for the leader retreat. Wait till you see what we have planned. Knock your socks off. Okay, should we do some recognition? All right, now there was some talk that this takes a while. So, I debate. I'm like, should I not do it? No, I have to do it. Of course I have to do it. If your name's on here, you're going to feel terrible if we didn't say your name and you made a big achievement. So, but I'm going to go just really fast. And these are the individuals that did. Oh, is it really? Let me watch this slow. Okay. These are the people. Now I just wasted 2 more minutes. Okay. Here's the people that did between 2,500 and 3,000. Alicia Tribot, Susan Myers, Christy Bleich, Caitlin Vincent, Marissa Davis, Shelly Andrus. Here's the people that did between 3,000 to 4,000. Becky Shank, Michelle Winterhall, Elizabeth Hall, Jennifer Horton, Lisa McCullough, Debbie Pendergrass, Julie Tullis, Jennifer Ewart, Nancy Anderson, Candy Desimone, Janie Sands, Jennifer Bourne. Here's the people that did between 4,000 and 5,000. Kristen Badra, Simone Prince, Kim Lake, Nikki Hereford, Emily Reese, Cindy Briner, Stacia Pancras, Lainey Rabarsky, Shannon Pelosa, Mary Chiarella. Here's the individuals who did over 5,000. Hillary Craner, David Meenan, Belinda Barrett. We have two people who did over 6,000. Penny Van Buren and Bev Austin. We have two people that sold over 7,000. Karen Slaymaker and Michelle Vito. And one individual, number one in our group, that sold $8,487 in the month of April, Tammy Christensen. Congratulations. Lots and lots of people that recruited at least one. We had 94 new people come into our group next month. So incredibly proud of you guys. These people each personally recruited two. Valerie Davis, Lisa Jackson, Ellen Collard, Tammy Christensen, Risa Bordeaux, Belinda Barrett, Maggie, you know I love you, Leanne Tekanos or whatever, Julie Tullis, Carrie Rippey, Tracy Moore, Samantha Kirkpatrick. We have three people who each personally recruited three, Kim Delp, Bev Austin, and Mary Grace. Congratulations. Now this report is going out to all of you, so let's just do the top group sales at the level of branch. Congratulations, Cindy Briner, you had $6,122. The area manager, top salesperson, Hillary Craner, $12,293. Elizabeth Hall, you were second, and guess what? You might be first this month if you keep it up because Hillary's the division now. Got to go up with the big dogs, Hillary. Top division sales, Belinda Barrett with $19,325 in her group. Top senior division, Davina Messick with $49,087 in her group. Ooh, you know what? I just wrote notes on the back of the other one. So did we have people going in for the drawing before I do the VP? Yeah. Okay, you want to do that? Okay, by random drawing. Okay, hang on a second. I got it here. All right. Top vice president, group sales with $38,089, Jennifer Horton, and top company VP with $154,888, Michelle Zito. Woo! Congratulations. Keep growing, keep glowing. Okay, who are our $250 winners? I get 4 of them. You guys, I'm going to get strict. You have 24 hours to get jewelry. 24 hours. Because when it comes in later, it totally messes me up. I forget to do it. You guys haven't gotten yours from last month because I didn't know about it until last week. Okay. In the next 24 hours, the following people won $250 worth of free jewelry. Let me know what you want. Jessica Cahill. Yay! Gina Allen. Yay! And guess what? This doesn't happen that often, but we have the same winner, number 1 and number 3, because she had a lot of tickets in there. Guess who it is? You got it. Tammy Christensen. You get to pick 500, you little brat. So excited for you. And then with the book 4, Want No More, I hope you're still doing it because the people that are rocking it. They're keeping them on track. $100 cash winner goes to Bev Austin. Congratulations, you guys. I'm really super excited for a terrific month. I'll look for your feedback. Signing out.